Thank you. Thank you for that welcome. I'm going to try to sandwich two things together here tonight because of the time, usually introducing the film and also explaining a little bit about the festival. So let's start with that. This is the 33rd festival. This is the year of the 33rd festival. And in the beginning, because we were a startup, so to speak, I felt that I had to get out to explain just who we were, why we were, and what we wanted to accomplish, which was basically to create a home for independent filmmakers, to have a place and a space to show their work, and hopefully maybe create a community in doing so, where we could be ongoing with that. So I think that has happened, I'm happy to say. In terms of the film tonight, full disclosure, Al Gore is a very good friend of mine. And we've been friends for many, many years, and we've worked together on many, many issues over time. I won't go into the details of those, but it has been my pleasure to not only have worked with him, but also to be his friend. And I think that when you look back in time, a few years ago, there was a moment when politics and the Supreme Court was not very kind to Al. And I think they drove, what they did kind of drove him away from politics, but it drove him towards film. And I think that's to our benefit. Because just being out of politics and going into film, he could work both sides of the street, so to speak. And he has, and he's done it beautifully. So tonight, we premiered his first film, Inconvenient Truth, here at Sundance. And now I'm very happy to say that we can introduce his sequel to that. So having said that, I would now like to introduce somebody else. What's his name? Oh, John Cooper. John Cooper, basically, whatever I do or say is one thing. You know, I might have gotten this thing started. But John has been the engine that makes this thing run and the wheels that make it turn. So I think all of you know that, and I think all the filmmakers here know and appreciate John, what he's done and what he continues to do. So it's with great pleasure that I introduce John Cooper.
All right, we're here. So I have some things, I have some little thank yous that I have to do. On behalf of all of us at the Sundance Institute, I want to thank our 2017 sponsors of this festival, some of who, especially our presenting sponsors, some of them have been with us for decades now, and that is Boom, Acura, Boom, Sundance TV, Boom, Chase Sapphire, and Canada Goose. We could not do this festival without them, and we thank them from the bottom of the heart. And we also thank all of our official sponsors and all the companies that help us turn this small town into this great event that it is. And we encourage you, something new this year, we have an official sponsor logo that you'll see around town. Go in those stores, talk to those people, go in those venues. They're all here for us, and now they're here for you. So I want to thank them. I'd like to thank our deepest thanks to the Governor's Office of Economic Development and the state of Utah as our festival host state, and to, of course, Park City for their continued support, and all the friends we have here in Park City. And a special thanks to the George S. and Dolores Dore Eccles Foundation for presenting Artists at the Table, which is a big event we have later on this evening. I want to thank you all. I want to thank you for coming. Now to the film. Whew, this was an interesting selection process this year. There was an election going on. We couldn't pay attention. We were doing our own stuff. But all of a sudden, this film came through that I thought of this night of all, it would be perfect for that. And that is an Inconvenient sequel, Truth to Power. We're going to have that in a minute. But, you know, behind every good man in this day and age, there's a filmmaker. And behind every great man, there's two filmmakers. And this is a great man, and these are two great filmmakers. They've been with us with together and apart. They had Daisy, Audrey and Daisy last year. John Shank did Island President, Lost Boys of the Sudan. They're part of the Sundance family. They're part of our community. I'm going to bring them up right now. I'm going to get off this stage. I'm going to be back for the Q&A after, and that is our two directors, Bonnie Cohen and John Shank. Please welcome.
Thank you all for coming to our tech check. I didn't realize that Sundance was so serious. They said they wanted to fill the theater so we could hear the acoustics, and this is going to work for us. No, we're really welcome. Thank you. We're happy to be here.
But as long as you are here, we'll love to share a few remarks before we get going on the film. In the summer of 2015, the great Diane Wireman from Participant Media called Bonnie and me, and before we knew it, the three of us were standing on Al Gore's front porch in Nashville, Tennessee. Al welcomed us into his home that day, popped off his shoes, and he climbed up on his sofa to lower the shades to enhance our viewing experience of what we started to call the 10-hour version of the slideshow.
After a really delicious vegan meal, we looked at each other and we'd realized we'd both fallen into the depths of despair. We'd gone about 4 hours through to lunch, maybe 5 hours, of just hearing where the climate crisis had gone, and we were just wringing our hands. But by the end of the day, Al had pulled us back, and then some. We left Nashville knowing, excuse me, we left Nashville knowing that we had begun what was to be the most important film of our lives.
Of course, this film stands on the shoulders, the solid shoulders, we should say, of Davis Guggenheim and the rest of the team that created An Inconvenient Truth, the film which put the issue of global warming on our cultural map. But 10 years later, Al Gore and all of us are still in the fight of our lives.
We're really humbled to be here with all of you on the eve of the new presidency, the inauguration tomorrow. This work is now more important than ever. We wouldn't be here without Participant Media, the brainchild of Jeff Skoll and of course, their first brainchild, An Inconvenient Truth, as John said, which we would never be here without. Diane Wireman, David Lindy, Jeff Skoll, we thank you for trusting us with this. And to our new partners at Paramount, who we're excited to go on a journey with to bring this film out in the world. But no better place than to open at Sundance 2017 with all of you. Thanks.
Thank you.